Just gonna leave me here alone. Oh, we got some people joining. Bella, look. Got people looking at us. Say hi.
I'm Cindy Watts.
Ron Watson.
Thank you. And I have authorized you to make a statement to the court as paternal grandparents of the children. And if you choose not to make a statement, but your designee, Ms. Powers, chooses to, she can do so as well. How would you like to proceed?
If this stillness holds you, a quiet gesture helps sustain these long-form investigations. Taking a moment to like the video or subscribe allows stories like this to be examined with the time and care they demand, bringing hidden truths into focus, one layer at a time.
Can I read that? I want you to start, but I would like to read
Who's
that.
going to be speaking today?
Your Honor, initially, they've asked me, and they're hoping that they have the strength to speak, but if they do not, they've written out their statements and asked me to finish for them. So
That would be fine. Who would like to go first?
if I could start, Your Honor. On behalf of the Watts, Your Honor, and to the community, we thank you for the opportunity and the recognition under the Victim Bill of Rights. We come today as the grandparents and the parent of the daughter and children whose life was taken in this case. We are not here to ask for leniency. We are not in any way condoning or tolerating the crime that has occurred and the pain that has been caused. We join in our daughter-in-law and grandchildren's family in saying this should never have happened. This is not condonable. This is something that we will never get over. We appreciate the consideration that everyone has paid, most especially the families that have lost everyone. We appreciate that they begged for Christopher's life. We agree and echo what they have said, that it is not his place to take anyone's life, nor would it be our place as a community to take his life. So we thank you for the opportunity and for every consideration and effort that's been put out. The prosecution in this case has in fact respected the Victim Bill of Rights. They took the time to explain that the information that my clients had at the time that they were interviewed was not correct. They were misinformed. They were searching for answers. They were not intending to cause any pain to anyone, and they appreciate that the prosecution answered their questions and gave them the time and the respect and the consideration so that they could tell this court and everyone in this community that the interview content was not their message, that they accept that their son has done this, that they accept that he chose to plead guilty, that he sought and requested their consent and agreement for a life sentence. They appreciate that he is given the opportunity to serve that life sentence. It is his responsibility, it is his sentence, and it is not enough to make up for what has done. We understand and we join the family in that we have questions. We don't know how such a thing could possibly happen, or that a man that was responsible for raising his children and protecting his wife would take the steps that he did, and that he would disregard their bodies and the love that he had for them and they had for him and everyone else, and take the gestures and put this community through the investigation and the discovery and the responsibility of bringing justice. We do not understand that. We do not think it was appropriate. We cannot begin to think that an explanation will ever justify it. My clients indicate that they understand that a full opportunity for a confession with all of the responsibility and accountability has not occurred. And they support the family and the request that that happen, if not today, at an appropriate time, in an appropriate manner, so that everyone can have peace, to understand to the best of their ability the details that they need and to have their questions answered. And by giving this opportunity of a life sentence, we hope that he embraces that moment. That had the death penalty been pursued, there would not have been an opportunity to be accountable and to give a full confession. And had the death penalty been sought, Counsel would have fought for his life. The prosecutors would have been engaged in a multiple-year battle. The families would have been torn apart. This community would have had to subsidize it and endure it. And we have so much respect and gratefulness that that did not happen. We would strongly encourage Christopher Watts to give that full confession in the tone and in the timing that he thinks is appropriate with the guidance of his counsel. We feel that it would be appropriate and helpful to ease the pain and the suffering. But we also say we don't think that there's anything that he can say that will ever account for his behavior. There's nothing that can be done to cure the harm he has caused. And he has the responsibility to serve his sentence with dignity and with regard for everyone, and to spend every breath that he has left in an atonement for what he has done. Do you want to read it?
So if I could just have you state your name for the record.
Cindy Watts.
Thank you.
My name is Cindy Watts. I am the grandmother of two beautiful granddaughters, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine Watts. I am also the mother of Christopher Watts, who I will be directing most of my statement to. First, I'd like to begin by recognizing the absolute horror of this crime and acknowledging the devastating loss that both the Rusek family as well as our family have faced. Our families have been irreparably broken by the needless deaths of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico. This is something we will never get over. We will always mourn the loss of our family, and in that we are united in our grief. I am still struggling to understand how and why this tragedy occurred. I may never be able to understand and accept it, but I pray for peace and healing for all of us. Now to my son Christopher. I have known you since the day you were born into this world. I have watched you grow from a quiet and sweet, curious child who Bella reminded me so much of, to a young man who worked hard in sports and later mechanics to achieve your goals. You are a good friend, brother, father, and son. We have loved you from the beginning, and we still love you now. This might be hard for some to understand, how I can sit here under these circumstances and tell you, although we are heartbroken, although we can't imagine what could have led us to this day, but we love you. Maybe you can't believe it either. As the Lord said in Jeremiah 3:31, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have continued my faithfulness to you. And you, as your mother, Chris, I have always loved you, and I still do. I hate what has happened. Your father and sister and I are struggling to understand why. But we will remain faithful as your family, just as God remains faithful because of his unconditional love for us all. We love you, and we forgive you, son.
Thank you.
Judge, if I could read Mr. Watts' statement.
Yes.
My name is Ronnie Watts, and I am the grandfather of Bella, Celeste, Nico Watts, and I am the father of Shannon. I am the father of Christopher Watts as well. And one of the most important things I've done in my life is to raise my children and to watch as they started their own families. I spent many years coaching Little League and talking to my son, taking him to the races, and sharing my love and knowledge of cars with him. He was just as involved with his girls. I believe he loves his girls. I know he does. This tragedy has impacted my family in so many ways. Beyond losing my precious grandchildren, our beloved daughter-in-law, we are forced to question everything. We still don't have all the answers, and I hope one day, Christopher, you can help us. Chris, I want to talk to you as a father and son. You are here today accepting responsibility, but I want to tell you this now. I love you. Nothing will ever change that. And I want you to find peace, and today is your first step. The Bible says if we confess our sins, God is faithful and just and will forgive us. Chris, I forgive you, and your sister forgives you, and we will never abandon you, and we love you. Dad. Judge, thank you for the opportunity to address the court.
Night settles unevenly over the neighborhood, the kind of darkness that does not announce itself all at once, but arrives in layers. Porch lights click on one by one. Windows glow softly, revealing fragments of domestic life, movement behind curtains, shadows crossing walls, televisions flickering with muted color. Nothing in these images suggests rupture. Everything suggests continuity. Yet continuity in this story is deceptive. The days preceding the final morning were structured by routine so familiar it barely registered. Alarm clocks sounded. Lunches were packed. Cars were driven along the same routes they had followed for years. The repetition created a sense of safety, a belief that tomorrow would resemble today closely enough to be predictable. Predictability dulled attention, smoothing over subtle shifts that, in isolation, appeared insignificant. Those shifts did not arrive as arguments or visible breakdowns. They arrived as absences, as emotional withdrawal that could be attributed to stress, as shortened patience that could be explained by exhaustion, as an increasing reliance on internal fantasy rather than shared conversation. Each absence was small enough to ignore. Together, they formed a widening gap between appearance and reality. Inside that gap, decisions were being rehearsed, not spoken aloud.
What I'd like to say to the court is that Shannon, Bella, and Nico are loving, caring people. They love life. They love being around people who love them. They always had good times. This is the first time they went to the beach this year, and they loved it. But God only knows what happened that night. Life will never be the same without Shannon, Bella, and Celeste and Nico. Had all their lives to live. They were taken by a heartless one. This is the heartless one, the evil monster, who dare you take the lives of my daughters Shannon, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. The heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me. They were loving and caring people. You may have taken their bodies from me, but you will never take the love they had for me. They loved us more than you will ever know, because you don't know what love is. Because if you did, you would not have killed them. You monster, thought you would get away with this. I don't know how. The cameras do not lie. You carry them out like trash of the house. Yes, I seen the videotape. You buried my daughter Shannon and Nico in a shallow grave, and then you put Bella and Celeste in huge containers of crude oil. You heartless monster. You have to live with this vision every day of your life, and I hope you see that every time you close your eyes at night. Oh, I forgot. You have no heart or feelings. or love. Let me tell you something. I will think of them every day of my life, and I love them every day of my life. Prison is too good for you. This is hard to say, but may God have mercy on your soul. I hope you enjoy your new life. It's nothing like the one you had out here. May the courts have no mercy on you. It's hard every day. It hurts in so many ways. I have heard people say that you're not a monster. No, you are not. You're an evil monster. Thank you. Love you, Shannon, Bella, and Nico. Love you, Pop and Dad. And one other thing. And Shannon says she is super excited for justice today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
So I brought Graham in here because we want to talk to you about the results, okay? So, it is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing, and I think you already know that. You did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay, so now we need to talk about what actually happened, and I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Chris,
I know.
Chris, stop. It's time. Just stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
There's a reason you feel sick to your stomach, and when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill. And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to just come clean and just be done with this. And I appreciate that because you knew sitting down in that chair that you weren't going to pass today, and you knew I was going to find out because I told you that. And then you continued to stay knowing that you could, at the end, say, you know what, I just need to get this off my chest. Like, I just need to tell you what happened. We're not here to play games. We're not here to do any of that with you. We just want to know what happened. So can you start from the beginning and tell us what happened?
Everything that I've told you, I did not lie on this polygraph. I don't know how much I could tell you right now. Like, I did not.
It's not even an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph. So I know you were being deceptive. So that's not even an issue right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. That's the issue right now.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about that.
I
know you want to tell us. I can see it in your face. Holding this lie in is going to do nothing for you.
I know this. Like,
Okay.
I'm not like trying to like cover things up. Like,
Yeah, but you kind of are because it's normal. Normal people would do that. Normal people that make a mistake initially are going to go, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. That's normal. I would expect that. It's just like if you ask your kid, you know, did you write on the wall? And they go, no. And you're like, you have a marker on your hand. Like, I know you just wrote on the wall. And they're like, oh, okay. That's a natural reaction that someone's going to initially lie about something like that and then eventually tell the truth. So this is your eventually telling the truth time. This is where the rubber meets the road, Chris. Like, don't let this continue any longer, please.
I'm not trying to make anything continue. Like, I want them back home. Like,
but you know they're not coming back home. You know that.
I don't know in the back of my head. I hope they come back home.
But you know they're not.
I hope they come back home.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know they're not coming back home.
Chris, Tammy and I are confused, okay? And here's what we're confused about. I told you that we've done some work overnight.
Yes.
I told you that we've got a lot of leads, okay? That wasn't a lie.
I know.
We know a lot more than you think we do, okay? And here's where we're confused. You're this great guy, and I'm not just telling you that, okay? I'm telling you that because everyone tells us that, okay? We can't find anyone to say anything bad about you. Chris is a great guy. He's a good father. He's a good man. We're confused as to why you're not taking care of your beautiful children.
I'm not taking care of them right now.
Right now. Where are they?
I don't know where they're at. I do not know where they are at. If I could have my babies back home right now, I would. I want them back. I want everybody back. That is the God's honest truth.
So let's keep talking about your family, okay? We just can't figure out why there's two Chris's, okay? We talked about that last night.
Yes.
We just can't figure it out. There's a Chris, okay? If somebody asked me my kid's child routine, I would say, I don't know, go ask their mom. That's the truth, right? And so it is very surprising to me, and it warms my heart that you're the type of dad who can pack a bag in the morning, and you know just what to put in there, and you know just what to put in there as a backup in case they have an accident, okay? You know what the clothes to put in there, you know what they have for breakfast, you know what they have for a snack, and a dinner, and a nighttime snack. You can tell me the book you read to your daughters, okay? I know you love them, and you're not faking that, are you? That's real, okay? There's a lot of guys who come in here and try to tell me that, and I know they're lying, okay? Because they can't answer those questions that you can answer, okay? But you are here today lying about something else. So we need to talk about that, okay?
I cheated on her.
I know. And this is very good. Keep
I'm not proud of it. I don't think anything like that could happen. I don't think I'd ever do it, but I did.
I know. Keep going.
And she accused me of it. I denied it. I cheated on her, and I feel horrible for it. Like, she was pregnant, and it was, I don't want to, I didn't hurt her. I cheated on her. I hurt her emotionally. I cheated on her. And I feel absolutely horrible about this, but that's what I've been holding. When I didn't go to the Rocky game, I was with her.
Okay.
I went to dinner with her.
Okay. Keep going.
That 5 weeks I was alone, I was with her most of the time.
Okay. You're doing a good job. This is the Chris that I knew would come out today. This is the Chris who tells the truth, because you're a truth teller.
When I tell you I fell out of love, it's because I fell in love with her.
Absolutely.
Okay? I mean, that's God's honest truth.
Okay. Who is her?
So I don't want to get her involved in this. I don't want to ruin her life. Like, if something like this, I don't want her involved in this.
Okay. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
I knew that you would say you didn't want to get her involved.
But just because
you'd like to take care of people.
She's a wonderful person. Like, I mean, she knew I was married, yes. And I told her we were going through issues, yes.
Yes.
And I told her that, we were going to get, at the end, like, you're going to get separated. Like, once I figured out what that was, I didn't know what that was going to be.
I know.
I had no idea. I saw her, took my breath away, and I'd never thought in a million years that could happen.
I know.
I know you think I'm a figure, but it was, I never felt that way about anybody in my lifetime.
Chris, that's not your fault.
No, I'm just,
Well, can we do this? I know you want to take care of her because it's because you're the type of guy that takes care of women. It is. You took care of your wife, you took care of your daughters, you were very good at taking care of her, and you want to take care of her. So can we make a deal? I don't think this girl did anything to hurt anybody, but I can't walk out of here wondering. So can we leave her out of it?
Okay.
Get back to your wife and your daughters.
Okay.
Where are they?
That I do not know. That was what I was holding back. Like, I didn't know, like, what I did. I know.
Chris, in the interview today, you weren't asked about infidelity. You were asked about...
I was holding back from last night.
That's
when
not
you
why
talked
you failed today.
That's not how that works. You would have reactions to every single question, not just the ones that we talked about being important.
Like the ones you wanted me to lie about, like, is that what you're talking about?
No, the ones about her disappearance and knowing where she's at, and about seeing her last.
I was not lying about those things. So,
Can I tell you what I think?
Yes.
Okay. So, going into that interview today with Tammy, where we strapped you in, we knew all about Nikki. Okay? All about her. And you're doing a very good job right now, because you didn't have to tell us about her, but you did.
I could hold that in anymore.
I know. We could see it in your chest
I
and
can.
in your eyes. Okay? Here's the challenge that we have. We knew about Nikki, and so we didn't need to ask you about her in the polygraph. We just didn't need to, because we knew. Okay? And so that's why we didn't ask you, because we already knew the answer. Okay? We're very, very worried about your daughters and your wife.
I am too.
Okay? So can I tell you, maybe based on the people that I've talked to, and Tammy's talked to, based on all the investigations we've done, based on your cell phone, both your cell phones, your wife's cell phone, Nikki's cell phone, okay, based on talking with family members and friends, and based on talking with everyone, here's what we know, okay? And I'm not going to lie to you right now. Here's what we know, okay? Chris is a good man. Everyone said it. Okay, I'm not just telling you that because I, want to blow smoke here. You're a good man, okay? Nobody can fake answers about packing a backpack. Nobody. You either pack a backpack for your kids or you don't, okay? This should have been the happiest time of your marriage, okay? You and Shanann. This should have been the happiest time. She's making a little money. She's making good money. You're making great money. You both have a job. You have beautiful kids. You have a beautiful house. You're in Colorado. Clean air, good people. Okay? And on top of that, you look pretty good now. You're pretty fit. Okay? This should have been a time in your marriage where you guys were happy and thriving and productive. Okay? And I believe that Shanann's the reason none of that happened. I believe that she's a controlling person. Maybe doesn't listen to you as much as she should. I think that she can do whatever she wants and you can't. Okay? I think if you were to go to a restaurant, she would order whatever the hell she wants. And as soon as you order a nice steak, she says, "Whoa, buddy." Okay? A woman that lets her man do all of the backpack packing and all of the cooking.
I'll do all the cooking, but
Right.
she cooks, like, I
Yeah.
do, like, some things here and there.
Okay? That's because you're a good person, and I think that she started on the path to leave the marriage. Okay? It's ironic that we're talking about you and Nikki. I think that she was the one who started on that path first. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't have thought about that.
Okay. And the other thing I think is interesting is, even though she is that type of person that's controlling, doesn't listen, does what she wants, is walking away from her kids, here you are defending her. Because to your core, you want to take care of the people you love. Okay. And that's the reason why we want to give you an opportunity today to just help us find them. Okay? Will you do that for us?
I'll do whatever I can to help to find where they're at.
Okay. So when she asked you, do you know where they are, or are you going to tell the truth about where they are, you failed miserably.
Okay.
Why?
I'm a nervous person. Like every question I asked, every question, it felt like I wouldn't even say the right thing.
That's not how the polygraph works.
I don't know like what it reads like. I know she was saying about the autonomy of the process, but like I don't know where they're at.
Chris, right now your dad's outside. He flew across the country to help
I know.
you. Okay? You're lying to him. You lied to everyone you talked to. And they all bought it. Will you please help us find your babies?
I want to find them. I've told you over and over, I want to find everyone.
Can we go back to that night?
Yeah.
You know that we have texts. And we know that there's an Alexa in your house.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that those are trained to record distress.
Okay.
You know that we know the content of Nikki's text messages and your text messages and Shanann's text messages. Okay?
I didn't know you knew who Nikki was until right now, so.
Okay. Tell us about that night again, and please tell the truth this time.
I told you the truth. I promise I've told you the truth. Like, I woke up at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 4 o'clock. Got dressed, got ready. 4:15, me and Shanann talked. About the house, about separation.
Did you guys talk about Nikki?
She accused me of like, alright, well, you know, is there somebody else?
Sure.
I didn't say it.
You denied it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she brought up like, you know, like, well, was there a $68 charge on dinner the other night?
Okay.
Was there 2 of you?
And that was with 2 of you, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Nikki.
Okay, so it sounds like at that time there was maybe you weren't quite ready to just say, man, this is everything.
I couldn't say it.
Okay.
We were already trying hard enough. I couldn't say that.
Okay. What did you say?
I just told her like, this separation has to go. I want separation.
Okay. Was it her idea to sell the house or yours?
She initiated the realtor the week before in an email.
Why?
Because we were talking about the marital issues. She's like, well, you can't afford to live on her own. Well, she can't afford to live on her own, and I can't afford to live on my own. So she was like, we need to just contact Ann and see.
And who'd you contact?
Well, she contacted Ann, our realtor.
Ann?
Yeah.
Okay. Would Ann say the same thing, that your wife initiated the contact?
Yeah.
Okay.
She would. And then on Monday, I texted her to see if what she could do.
Okay.
And that's in there too. You probably already knew that.
Tell me about the pregnancy. Was that your idea or hers?
She said she was about 80-20. Well, when we did the pros and cons of it, like after she got pregnant, she told everybody that it was mainly my idea.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted a boy.
Did you want to get pregnant?
Hmm?
Okay.
And then after the fact, she said it was mainly me that wanted it, and she was about, you know, she was 70-30 against it at that point. Like, she would tell her friends that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what, 70-30 against it? Like, why?
Mm. Okay. Can you understand that some of this just doesn't make sense to us? Okay. How is it possible that a woman and 2 kids are just completely gone off the face of the earth?
I promise you, I have nothing on my hands I did nothing to those kids or her to make them vanish.
So tell me what happened then. I believe you that you did nothing on your hands. What happened?
When I left, I mean, it's on video that I left and I was in my truck. I didn't like load anything into my truck besides my tools, my container, my book bag, my water jug, my lunchbox.
Okay. But then what happened?
I drove out of the driveway.
No, before you drove out of the driveway. What happened with your wife and your kids?
I didn't do anything like that. They were still in the house.
Where are they? Where did they go?
I don't know, sir. I really don't know.
Your wife's not the type of person to vanish.
I know she's not.
She had 10 things on her schedule that meant she was going to be there the next day, that day, the
Yeah.
day after that, with friends, with a doctor. Okay? She didn't leave because she wanted to.
Okay.
So what happened?
I didn't do anything to her or the kids.
Was it an accident?
I didn't do anything.
Was it an accident?
There was no accident. I don't know if there was an accident in the house. I wasn't there for it.
It's a big deal if it's an accident, because we can work with that, Chris.
No.
And I
There's
think
no.
that's maybe what happened.
There's no. I did not cause an accident. I didn't do anything to my wife and kids.
Was it a misunderstanding?
There's no misunderstanding. Like, we had that talk. There was a misunderstanding where I didn't tell her about the affair.
Okay?
I didn't. That
Okay.
that was the misunderstanding. Like,
Sure. Miscommunication,
Yeah,
misunderstanding.
yeah.
Good.
but I probably should have told her right then. Honestly, I mean, everything was out on the table anyways.
Right.
I should have just told her right then. But I didn't, because I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
What was your plan? What were you going to do? I mean, how was the separation going to work?
Like, once we got separated, I would get my own place, and then I mean, 50-50 split with the kids, I was hoping.
Mm-hmm. And what about Nikki?
Take it slow and just see if, if anything develops, like, when I'm, at my own place.
Okay.
I just find it hard to hear you talk about just having this emotional, conversation with Shanann, and you're bawling and crying together, and you have not shed one tear in 2 days that you've been here. Not one. And help me understand that, because I don't get it. These are your baby girls, and you have not shed one tear over them not being around. Chris, I lose my 4-year-old in the store for 10 seconds, and I start to go panic. I have not seen any of that from you at all. Help me understand that.
I love those girls. I would never do anything just because I haven't shed a tear. Like, you get
Yeah, no, that's weird. Is that weird?
Don't look into that like I don't love my
Well,
kids. I
tell
love
me,
my
explain
wife.
to me. You're crying with your wife that you're leaving her,
Yeah.
but you don't cry that your 2 little baby girls
I'm
are
hoping they're
missing?
still around I'm hoping they're still somewhere.
Yeah, but you
alive.
don't have them right now. You're
I
not
know.
reading stories to them at night.
I know.
You're not giving them midnight snacks. You're not giving them their medicine. You're not waking up with them in the morning.
I know this.
So that should cause you pain.
It does cause me pain.
But I don't see that. I don't see that. I want to see the Chris that cares. I want to see the Chris that, feels bad about what he did and wants to, get this off his chest and be done with this. And let us find your little girls so that they're not out there in the middle of a field or whatever somewhere. Like, don't do that.
I love those girls to death.
Then show us that. Show us that. Show us this Chris, not this Chris.
I'm not showing you that. I'm showing you the Chris that cares about his girls and his wife. Just because I haven't shed a tear, it shouldn't make you feel like that the love isn't there for them.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense to me.
I understand that.
You have to.
I totally see where you're coming from. Trust me, there's nothing. Just because
Chris, people can be pushed to the point where they do something that they regret. It happens every single day.
I know.
But part of what makes you a man is the guy that goes, I really fucked up, but this is what I did, and I'm going to pay for what I did, and I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm going to be honest about it.
Chris, we can keep talking to you once we find these girls, okay? And once we find these girls and your wife, right, no matter how we find them, no matter what condition they're in, we can keep talking to you and you can tell us, guys, it's not as bad as it looks. And you can say, let me tell you what happened. I was never comfortable with you, Graham, or with you, Tam. I wasn't comfortable yet, but now that everything's known, now that these girls are found and Shanann's found, however they're found, it's okay. We can keep talking to you. Okay?
Chris, did Shanann do something to them?
No, I don't know.
I'm serious.
I have no clue.
No, you would have known, because they didn't leave the house.
Like, when,
Did Shanann do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shanann?
They were at the house when I left. They were there.
They weren't there. They didn't leave. They vanished.
They were
The
there.
only way they could have left is in your truck.
There's no way, because, like, I didn't just throw them in my truck.
You know your truck has GPS,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because you told your boss, like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to separation, or maybe staying
Yeah.
at a friend's house, whatever. You know that thing pings every 10 seconds?
Yep.
So we will know
You can't turn
exactly
it off.
I know.
And
where
your-
you went.
And your company's giving that to us.
I know.
Okay. Are we not asking the right questions, Chris?
You're asking all the questions.
What are we not asking you right? What are we doing wrong?
You're not doing anything wrong.
Did Shanann do something?
If she did anything to these kids, we both love them with all our hearts. There's no way.
It could have been an accident. Something happened in the house that you know about. You failed the polygraph test, Chris. This is not about, did you leave and your wife vanished and you didn't know anything about it. That was not what you were asked, okay?
Okay.
We know that something happened to all three of them. But I want to know, did something happen to these baby girls first that you had to take into your own hands and deal with?
You had to clean it up for Shanann.
Chris, you gotta tell us. There's something that happened to these baby girls. Look at them.
I know. Before you came in, I was just watching videos.
We have no doubt you love these girls with all of your heart. I have no doubt. But we make mistakes.
And that's okay.
It's what we do with those mistakes that make us who we are.
Chris, it seems like you're thinking about it right now. What are you thinking about?
She couldn't have.
I feel like you cleaned up for her. I feel like that's the type of guy that you are. Which one of these has the breathing thing?
Well, they both have inhalers, but she has the EOE. Encephalitis esophagitis.
Did she have problems breathing?
And only like with her allergies and whatnot, like if she had anything next, but she's home with the endoscopies and everything and the surgeries I told you about.
Do you think she had trouble breathing that night? And Shanann freaked out? And didn't want to live without her baby girl?
I don't think so.
Did you hear about the homicide that happened in Aurora, where the guy beat that family to death with a ball-peen hammer?
Mm-hmm.
The only person that survived was a 3-year-old sibling. And that sibling grew up to be a total mess. No family, no mom and dad, no brother or sister, just her by herself. She says, I wish I would have died with them. And there are times that people freak out. I've seen it. I mean, I've been in law enforcement for almost 20 years. I've seen it. Parents freak out and they're like, oh my God, like, I can't have my baby girls live without each other. They're best friends. They're like twins. They're, you know, they wake each other up in the morning. And I understand that. We had a mom in Castle Rock that suffocated both her baby girls. She's like, my husband was gonna take them, and she's like, I just couldn't I thought I was doing right by them. I thought I was saving them pain. And I get it.
Why? How'd she save the pain?
Because she didn't want them to have to live without their mom.
Chris, this is a weight that's going to be on you for the rest of your life until we resolve it tonight. Unless we can talk about this more tonight, this is going to follow you forever. I promise you, when you start talking to us, you will feel better. I know you already feel better about getting the Nikki off your chest.
Please don't like involve her in the news or anything like that. She can't do that.
You gotta help me.
I know.
Chris, we're giving you a lifeline right now. You need to take it. You need to reach out and take it.
Did they look like this the last night you were with them?
She had that dress on, like, on the 8th or 9th. It wasn't this, but she had that dress on. 'Cause I remember I had 2 buttons on the back. I'd take them off so I could get her pajamas on that night.
Did you guys make sure they were warm when they left the house?
Make sure they were warm. They're always warm. They always have, when they're in their beds, they're always warm.
Okay. Were you guys taking care of them at the very end?
They're always taken care of. They never miss a meal.
Chris, you took them out of the house with their blankets and their animals. Like, that's because you cared. That's what a caring dad does.
I mean, I'm always caring for these kids. There's nothing in this for my life.
I believe that. I believe that, and I believe someone made a mistake, whether it was you or Shanann. And you either cleaned up after Shanann or you made the mistake, and I mean, I want to believe that maybe Shanann did it and you felt compelled to fix this so Shanann didn't look bad. That's what I want to believe. But I don't know, you're not telling me that, so it makes me think the worst. Like, did you do that to all 3 of them?
I did not do anything to these kids. Not do anything.
What did Shanann do to them? Tell us, Chris. Chicks are crazy.
Can I talk to my dad or something?
Absolutely.
Come.
Do you want to bring him in here?
No, I just can't talk to my dad. Like, I flew across the country.
Hey, Chris,
I can't.
how about this? If we brought your dad in here, would you please tell him what happened?
Can I just go talk to him? I've been in here for like 5 or 6 hours and I'm like...
Absolutely. Chris, look at me, man. It's not going to feel any better. He deserves an answer.
It's your best friend.
There's only one person you wanted here most, and it's your dad.
Yes.
What would you tell him?
I love him and I just want him to be by my side.
Okay. He knows more than we do that you're a good man. And he knows as much as you want to protect your wife, Shana. I think he would tell you to do the right thing. Before we get him.
Can I go out there and talk to him?
Well, I don't know that you want to do it out there because there's a lot of people going through the halls. Should we bring him in here?
We'll step out. Okay?
Can you use a few minutes with him?
Okay.
Okay. Can we just ask a couple more questions? It seems like you're about to get it off your chest. Is there any way that you can help us understand more about Shanann and why maybe something happened, so that we don't get a bad picture about her? And what I mean is, what happened that night with her?
As far as like after I talked to her,
With the girls?
like when we were having that conversation in bed there,
Mm-hmm.
like when I talked to her about the separation and the house, and she asked me about the affair, and
Okay.
that's how that conversation went.
Okay.
She was distraught. She had like mascara running down her face, all that. I mean, it was emotional.
Well, how about this? If we bring in your dad, will you promise me that you'll talk to him?
I'll talk to him.
Okay. Will you promise me that you'll tell him everything? Would it be easier if you told him and he told us?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if that's going to be easy or not. I tend to think it's not. I think you're the type of guy that needs to take responsibility, because you always have taken responsibility. You've always made the right choice. So I guess I'm just worried that if we bring your dad in here, that could distract you. What do you think?
Distract me from like talking to you.
Yeah.
I just need to talk to him.
Okay. All right. I know you'll do the right thing. I do. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think that you need to think a little bit more about that. Okay?
And you need to realize that your dad is not going to stop loving you no matter what you tell him. You are his child, and he will not stop loving you.
Never.
Ever.
And this is not the last chapter in anyone's story at all. Okay? He's been here the whole time. You know, he didn't want to leave you. Have you ever seen, sometimes when an animal's owner dies, they stick around forever? I think that's your dad. Poor guy didn't want to leave today, okay? So, keep that in mind. He wants to hear it all. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. I know.
Tell what's going on with anything, or? And this, polygraph failed it. Yeah, 'cause there's too much emotions. So, I mean, they're not gonna let me go.
Is there any reason why they shouldn't? What's the name?
They know I had an affair. And they know. I can't complain about that.
They know you had an affair.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you wanna tell me, what's going on, or what happened, or anything, or you know anything about?
When we had that conversation that morning, it was emotional, it was, told her about separation and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
What happened after that?
I mean, I went downstairs and
about you then for a long time. So she started hurting the kids.
Never.
Tell me, Chris, what happened?
One.
She smelled it. Or choking.
I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, I came back up and they were gone. I don't know, like me talking to her about that. Talking to her about separation and everything, about, like,
And she lost it.
I don't know, like, what else to say, like, 'cause I freaked out. Those are my kids.
So she, it's not that one time, you were leaving the place and going to work. And she freaked out over the separation and everything.
Like, she laid back down, but that's when I went downstairs, but I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm. And then you went back upstairs and she was,
I could see, like, she was on top of me.
what, choking her or? Did she kill her?
They're blue.
Both of them.
Yeah.
She choked both of them to death.
I freaked out at the same thing. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say though.
No, just,
I couldn't, like, call the cops about it.
so when you do all the bodies off or something?
I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I
Freaked
freaked
out.
out. I didn't know nothing else to do. I didn't know what to do.
So she killed both CC and Bella, choked them to death. You lost it and choke her or?
That's just rage. I hadn't.
Good God, my son.
Like, in her heart, I know she knew about the affair. She just was waiting for me to say something and for me to deny it again. I think she was lost it.
That's when she went off and you told her about it.
That's when the crying, like, happened. And that's what happened.
She lost it when you told her about her confirmed. Yeah, that's right.
I didn't tell her how long, she just knew. She just knew. I could deny it all I want, she just knew. counseling or something. I didn't like my counseling.
She lost it. And another separation. Did she break up with her that morning too?
What's that? Is it okay? I'm sure. Chris, help us work through this with you, okay? Will you tell us what you told your dad?
After that conversation,
Water up there, son.
no, you're fine.
Yeah.
After that conversation we had, and she accused me of the affair, she, in her heart, she knew what was going on. And she knew about the dinner the other night. It was too much for just me.
About what now?
When I told her I went to a Rockies game, I went out to bed. I went downstairs.
And that's when you told her about the separation?
Well, that was when I was upstairs in bed. I told her, what I wanted in the call was separation. And that's what I want. I went downstairs and started packing up a few things. It hurts a couple things upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it. Continue to just, own thing and get ready to get everything packed up.
Next.
I went upstairs and I was gonna talk to her again. And I saw on the monitor, Bella's covers were like pulled off and she was just laying there. She was just hot. So I go over to Cece. She was in there with her. On top of her. Choking her. Freaked out. I ran in there and got on top of her.
What'd you do?
She blew. Those are my babies. Those are my kids.
What happened?
Nothing that hurt.
Erosion? Where were you at?
Right there. I put her back in our bed. Sure.
Is you okay? What happened next?
I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. I was shaking. Like both my kids were blue and they were gone. And I'm just like blind, just I'm not that person, like I'm just like she hurt my kids. Like I had to do the same thing to her.
What happened after she was in your bed?
And there, I didn't know what to do. It was pull the sheets back and just cover her up. Didn't know what to do.
Where are they now? To find your babies. Did the hard part. All you have left is to tell us where they're at.
We can help you get them out of the cold.
They're gone. There's no bringing them back.
Well, where are they? find him there?
I didn't know what to do.
I know.
I didn't know what to fucking do. Like, none of this made sense. Why would she hurt my fucking girls?
So Chris, are they in something? Are they under the ground? Like, where would you find them? You take us out there?
There's no way I want to go out there. I mean, I will if you want me to. I don't want to go.
What if you and me and your dad just drove by and you could just say, right there, we could help you just get him out of the cold, you know, take care of him for the last time.
I'm sorry.
I know you are.
I know you are. I know you came in today to do the right thing. You didn't have to come in. You came in all on your own.
Don't take anything less than me.
What?
Just please don't take anything less than me. Talk to my dad.
Are they all three out there, Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
What was she doing to Cece?
She's just on top of her. My hands around.
And around what?
My neck.
You saw it?
I saw it on the monitor.
Okay.
And that's why I ran in there.
What'd she say?
Threw her off and saw Cece was just already blue. It's not moving. And just that blind rage, I just did the same thing to her.
Did you ever go into Bella's room?
So pushing it back in, that's no, when I saw her on the monitor, the way she was laying, the bed just sprawled out.
Is that when you packed up their special stuff? So where'd you put them? Get them out there.
In the truck.
Which part?
Driver's side rear.
In the passenger compartment?
Driver's side rear. Right behind my seat.
What were you thinking on the way out there?
There's, and the babies are gone. And I put my hands around my wife's neck and did that same thing. It's,
Did Shanann fight back at all when you did that?
the rage that I had after seeing that, like, not much.
How do you know Shanann was dead?
Smooth.
We looked on her Facebook page, like 2 days put a sheet over it.
She ended?
Yeah. Before any of this happened.
Yeah. That's a good point,
So
Ron.
I'm thinking that's not a good plan. I don't know.
That's a very good point.
If I can't see it now, I'm blocked on there, you look on their Facebook page.
What did it say, or what was the
It
caption?
said, what do you say to this? Something similar to that. And a tall lady, not about that tall, was laying on one of her couches and had a sheet over across the head, all the way up, you can see his feet hanging out, saying like Bella had done that. The kid went through that.
Do you remember that, Chris? What do you think?
Just make fun of it. Thought it was funny.
Did Bella do it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think so. But I don't catch it up, I don't think she would do something like that. No, she'd have had their dolls and stuff out on the floor and just covering up waist and stuff, and something like that, but no,
Okay.
covering her head and everything up like it's
Like this what?
like a body laying there or something.
It sounds like kind of,
I'm sorry I lied to you. Commander. I mean, you knew what was gonna happen.
You stayed for a reason.
Chris, you're a good man.
I'm not a good man.
Well, you stayed, you wanted to talk, you knew it was gonna be hard, and you still stayed, and that's what a good man does.
Stayed here for 6 hours and 11 minutes before.
After staring you in the face.
We're glad you did.
I can see when the rage would come out and see if the kid's dead.
You don't know. You don't know when you look at you come out and see it move.
I told you your dad still love you, no matter what.
How could you let someone kill somebody?
Get through this now.
Hey, Chris,
Nothing will ever be the same again.
when you came in, was your wife on top of her right when you came in? So you saw it in person?
Because I saw the monitor, that's why I rushed in. Someone is there to talk to her again.
And when you came in, she was right there on top
She
of
was
her?
right there.
Okay.
One of her hands on her throat.
She didn't know what to do.
Were you trying to save Cece?
Hard glue on her face. She wasn't moving. Her head sprang overwhelmed like that.
So where did you put them out there, Chris? That's really important. Are they down in something? Are they under something? In something?
I didn't know what else to do.
I know, so tell me what you did. I know,
I didn't know what else to do. I was so scared.
I know.
It's like my wife just did this, and I just did that. What do I do?
Right.
Anything that I would do from there was just going to be just insensitive and just a horrible thing.
You were in a tough spot. I mean, what can you do, right?
Sometimes your body just kind of takes
I
over and... Still looking at your dad here. Can you show us?
What's gonna happen?
We're gonna help him get out of there. Do you,
Like, what?
would you prefer that one of your coworkers?
Oh my God, no.
Okay.
I cannot have that.
We're afraid of
You said that you're about to become a good man. They're gonna see this. You're like, what the fuck did you do, Chris? What? Like, why didn't you just go to college to begin with?
Well, they weren't in your shoes, they don't know.
I know.
They weren't living your life.
I know, but still, it's like,
People are
I
gonna
can
judge
never,
you
like,
once.
We'll just go little steps at a time. How about that?
I can't have anybody show you out there, anybody, no coworkers, please.
Okay.
I mean, they're just gonna form their own opinions anyways once they figure everything out anyway.
We'll find it anyway.
We'll just take little steps tonight then. How about that?
Yeah. Do you have to have any of them with you?
No?
No, we prefer you.
Can you and me and Tammy and Ronnie get in the car and just drive out there?
Just point general direction.
You just point it?
Take it from there.
Chris, I know they're gone, but they're still your babies, and you're still their dad.
You don't want them out there.
I don't want them out there.
And you don't want someone else to find them out there. You don't, I promise you. You'll take us. Will you give us a second so we can kind of get some things arranged to do that?
Ronnie, do you mind staying in here with him? Okay.
What the fuck is this?
One step at a time now.
This is just fucking horrible. The problem is I don't even know if they believe me or not.
You never do nothing to hurt your children. Never.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to text my daughter, have her go to my house before my wife finds out. This ain't gonna be on the news anytime soon, or is it?
No, not tonight. I can't imagine it's not now. I mean, I don't really have much say in that, but I can't see that. Do you want me to take you out to the lobby and you can go to the bathroom and then text your wife and stuff, talk to them?
You might want to go outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside.
Just watch the press people around.
Yeah, I'll see if anyone's out there while I go.
You want your water? You want to take your water with you?
Yeah.
We're gonna try to do our best to make sure that we, we don't stand to gain anything by broadcasting any of this. That's not what law enforcement is ever really about. So we're gonna try our best to handle that as discreetly as possible, but they're pretty good at what they do too.
So I'm not from, you're probably not from around here neither, are you? Or are you?
I've only been here 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a lawyer or something for, not a public defender, but somebody else.
We can talk about
We'll
that.
talk about that later.
get your phone? You got it, okay. Let's go this way. All right, we'll pass.
So if you're up for it, we'll talk a little bit more. I think we have a picture of, is it Survey 319? I think we have a picture. Kind of walk you through that. I'm sure you have a ton of questions for us about, you know, how your night, month, and week is going to look. So Tammy, I was just telling him, I wanted to show him that picture.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about how the rest of the night's going to go.
That looks familiar to you? What is that?
It's the PRC Survey 319.
Okay. Whereabouts is Shanann and the girls?
How old is this picture?
Today.
That's today.
Okay, can you mark it for me? I think it's the paper, it's just gonna be the S for Shanann, okay, and where are the girls at?
Here.
In these?
Mm-hmm.
So which one is, do you know which one?
Are they in the tanks? Can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing open those? Okay, it's easy to open them.
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
There was a sheet found down here?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that from?
That was what Chanel was wrapped in.
What about the girlies? What were they wrapped in? Just in their pajamas? Not with their blankets or anything? Where did their blankets and toys and stuff go?
Probably blew away in the wind or something right here.
Where did you set them or put them?
It was right here, but
So, how did you dig this out? I'm assuming that's under dirt? How did you dig that?
it's a shovel in the back of my truck. That's what I always have.
It's like a work shovel? Is it still there? How was Shanann dressed?
Shirt and underwear.
So was she got into bed with? Do you remember what color her shirt was or her underwear?
I think her shirt was either black or gray. Underwear was probably blue.
How much time passed, do you think, from the time that she was back in the bed until you put them in the truck?
I'm not sure.
Are we talking minutes, hours, something else?
From when I left the house.
No, like from when you got her into bed to when you put them in the truck? How long a time was that?
So like from when put Shine in my truck, from the bed to the truck.
Yeah, from your master bed to the truck, yeah.
Minutes.
Okay. Cause you talked about covering her up or something.
Yeah. And the sheet.
Is there anything else about anything out here that has stuff that you've left in certain spots, or you sure their blankets and toys aren't gonna be in there as well?
Not because it was right here, right there.
Can you do me a huge favor and just write your name on the bottom? Just so I know that we didn't make those marks. I'm just gonna write the date on it, okay? 8/15/18 at 5:56.
Was she wearing, was your wife wearing any shorts or pants or anything just under her? Okay. Do you remember what they look like?
Blue.
Okay. Okay. And the girls, do you remember what their pajamas were?
They're both nightgowns.
Okay.
Celeste, I think, was that pink one with the, like, birds on it.
Okay.
I think Bella's was, yeah, her unicorn or believe on it or something.
Okay. So it sounds like, I mean, it feels like to me, now we know pretty well how to go get them. Is there anything else we need to know?
Like about how to get them?
Yeah. Does someone have to climb up to the top and unscrew something and then lower something down to get them?
They're like, it's just a hatch from the top, and they're like 20-foot tanks.
How far down are they?
That, wherever the food level is in the tank, I'm not sure.
Okay. What was it when you were there?
I don't know, I didn't,
Okay.
I wasn't looking for that.
Okay. All right.
You may go out there or no?
I don't think so. Would you prefer not to?
I didn't know if you needed help getting there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think once we got that picture, because we didn't really know how much about the location that the other police officers knew, but it sounds like they knew somehow right how to get to 319. So, and I think that's how they got that picture. Does your nanny cam? Do you have a nanny cam, right?
It's a monitor.
Baby monitor. Is it a video one?
It's like it cycles back and forth.
Between what?
Bella and Cece's room.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is there any chance it records? No? Okay. I'm just wondering, what do you think ultimately made Shanann snap?
Just knowing that I had an affair, or and she knew. She just needed me to admit it, and I would admit it.
Yeah. Okay. So we just started talking about, I asked him if there's any chance that the nanny cam could have recorded Shanann doing what she did. And then we were just getting into, what Chris thinks about why she snapped.
Mm-hmm.
He's just saying, distress from knowing about the other girl.
Knowing, but she didn't really know, right? I mean,
In her heart, she knew. She just wanted me to admit it.
Can we talk about a couple tough things? I think we need to get it out of the way and just really get it out, just to make sure you have every chance to explain exactly what happened and we have every chance to ask questions. So the conversation happened. You go downstairs. She's still upstairs. And then you see what?
I hear this commotion upstairs, just like, like little noises like that.
Okay.
Didn't think anything of it. So I go back up and just talk to her again, maybe real fast. And go into their room, her master bedroom. She wasn't in there.
Okay, you went there first?
Yeah.
And why did you go up again?
Just to go up and talk to her again.
Okay. So it's not as though that noise made you run up, you just stopped?
No, I didn't,
Okay.
didn't
Okay.
grab anything to register with me for that. I just looked in the monitor and it was on Bella.
And where is the monitor, where's the screen that you look at? Is it up or downstairs?
It's upstairs.
Oh, okay, so you go upstairs, look at the monitor.
Yeah, everything's right beside the bed.
Oh, your master bedroom, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
beside the bed.
So she's not in her bed?
It's still right there.
Okay.
If you wanna look at it. And it was on Bella, her covers were pulled back, and she was just sprawled out laying there. And then it cycled over, so they got 3, 4, 5 second, like interval between when it cycles from room to room. And it cycled over to Cece's room. And that's when I saw her on top of her, that's when I ran in.
Okay. So can we talk about, again, it's very, very hard to talk about, but it's good to make sure that we understand. We don't want anything to be incorrect or inaccurate or anything like that. Was your wife on top of Cece? What did that look like? I mean, was she straddling her? Okay. And where were they?
In the bed.
On the bed. And so your wife was on top, was she doing this?
That's when I was walking up from the back.
Okay. So you saw from the back?
Yeah.
Okay. But she was doing this?
It looked like it was like this.
Yeah, okay. And then was Cece face up, face down, what?
Off to the side.
Oh, she was laying on her side, okay.
And that's when I pulled her off. And
Okay.
She was limp and she was blue.
Okay.
There was no movement at all.
Oh, she was limp and blue, or limping and blue?
Limp
Oh,
and
limp
blue.
and blue, okay.
It's like her body was like,
Right,
you pick her arm up and it
Sure.
just falls.
okay. And then what happened?
I looked at her and I just got on top of her and
You got on top of Shanann?
did the same thing.
Okay. Did you have to knock her down?
No.
She was already on the ground?
I just pulled her off on the bed. And
Oh, kind of one movement?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not as though you
no, I didn't
pulled her off?
No, like I went up, pulled her down and did that. I didn't know, I lost it
Sure.
So
Okay.
Shanann was laying on the ground?
on the bed.
On the bed?
Yeah, like when she was on top of me, I saw what was happening. I
Oh.
pulled her, went down, I was
How
on
big
the
was
bed.
the bed? What kind of, what size is it, full, clean, you know?
I think it's probably a queen of some sort.
Okay.
I have a picture of it somewhere, I think.
So where was Celeste in the
She was
kitchen?
all the way up to the top,
To the top?
yeah. And I went in and pulled Shanann down, it was crossways.
Like,
So she was laying this way, as I was.
Okay. Well, it's key room.
Mm-hmm.
So then, is this picture as you're standing in the doorway to go in? What is that where, okay? And then, so were they closer to this side or this side?
Cece usually sits in the middle.
Okay. And then, so your wife was right on top of her, you could just see that. And then, did you pull her this way or that way, or
So to where her head was on this side.
right over here?
Yeah.
On the left as you're looking at it?
Mhm.
Okay. Did she put up a fight?
I lost it so much that it didn't feel like she did.
Okay. You're a pretty strong dude. Was she yelling? Was she screaming? Was she talking? Was she scratching you? Nothing?
I didn't even feel, I just felt such anger that nothing, I didn't feel anything.
Okay. All right.
Like if she did, nothing's on me.
Was it quick? Was it slow? Was it?
I was so numb, it felt like it was over.
Fast? Over fast? Okay.
Felt like
Is it possible her neck's broken?
no, so.
Okay.
I've never broken a bone, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. was it a choke like this, or was it like a headlock?
Choke.
Okay. All right.
Can you put your hands out like you had your hands?
Like that.
Like that?
All right.
And your wife, you saw her with one hand or two hands?
I just kind of from the back, I couldn't really like tell. I don't know, she was on top of her. And the monitor's not like color, it's black and white. Well, at
Yeah.
nighttime, it's black and white.
Okay.
When it's dark.
So because you went up the stairs, right, to talk to Shanann again? And then, did you think it was weird that she's not in the room where you left her?
So I walked in and looked around and saw the monitor and I saw Bella. And then switched over to CC pretty fast, and that's when I saw that. And
Did you have any inkling that between the time that you finished the talk and the time that you found Shanann choking Cece, you had no inkling she was going to do it?
or you Buffalo those kids more than you know.
Okay.
I mean, people in my family have always said she's unstable. My friends have said she's unstable, but I never like would have thought in a million fucking years.
Who says she's unstable?
My family, my friend Mark, people that have seen her around me. I don't want to make a bad picture of her.
Well, it doesn't look good, I'm not gonna lie. Looks actually pretty bad. And,
Is it possible that when we get these girls, you know, Bella, Cece, and Shanann, is it possible when we get them that we're going to see anything other than the cause of death being her hands?
No.
Okay. And what I mean by that, and I should be very clear, is that it's some of it's hard to believe that your wife did it.
I know.
Right? You can imagine that.
I know.
Okay. So is it possible that maybe she did one, and then you got Shanann, so you did to Shanann what she did to one of your daughters, and then you had to just do it to the other one to make? Okay. So is that's not
No.
That's not what happened?
No.
Okay. Is it possible that, is there any other way where we might see your hands on the girl's neck?
No. Lord, no.
Okay. And you know what I mean? Because when we find their little bodies,
I know.
we're going to see the diameter of someone's hand
Yeah.
and someone's fingers, right? So is it at all possible we're going to
No.
see yours?
No.
Okay. All right. And I know it's hard, and I know you're probably getting angry at my question, but we have to ask. Okay.
what do you think of that, Chris?
Let my family down. Let my dad down, let my mom, sister, nephew, nieces, friends, co-workers. Everybody.
Can I ask you another tough question? We just get it all on the table. When you see Shanann choking, strangling Celeste, and you get her off of Celeste, did you think about calling an ambulance? How come?
I saw you laying there blue and limp. I mean, I've never seen something like that in my life. I mean, she just like lay over, like nothing was moving at all, no gasp of breath.
So,
She was totally just blue.
so Chris, doing this job for a long time.
I know.
I know a lot about psychology and as far as like what people are thinking, and most parents will never even want to fathom that their kid is dead. Even if their kid's stiff, blue in bed, I mean stiff like been dead all night, they still call an ambulance to see if someone can revive their child. And when the ambulance gets there and they're like, gosh, their kid's been dead all night, like, there's nothing we can do. The parents are like, why are you not doing something? What are you talking about? So that's what we're used to, so that's why I want you to explain to me, like, what was going on in your head and.
The rage that I felt for what she did, it just took over.
But do you see that?
I
that kind of was
understand.
Chris?
I see where you're coming from.
Most parents would still try and call.
I see where you're coming from.
You know. I would hate for Shanann to get a bad rap if she didn't have anything to do with it. You know, it's not fair.
I know.
It's not fair. Like, enough bad stuff has happened.
I know.
Like, we need to stop the bad stuff from happening. So, do you want to tell us the truth?
That is the truth. Did not hurt this girl.
That's why I want to make sure.
Did not hurt this girl.
So you're good with the public knowing that Shanann killed her daughters?
I did not hurt these girls.
Are you okay with the public knowing that Shanann?
Yes, because I did not hurt these girls.
Chris, I'm not sure I believe you.
I don't think you meant to.
I didn't hurt them.
I don't think you meant to.
I didn't hurt them.
You didn't save them either. You know?
I know that. I know that.
So that doesn't make sense either.
None of this makes sense. Nothing like why she would be there. None of this makes sense.
Are you sure Shanann didn't touch you in Celeste?
No, my God, no.
Chris, you can imagine that we're pretty cynical in our jobs, right? And tonight we've had to talk a lot about a lot of things. And don't get mad, but what it looks like is that you found a new life, and the only way to get that new life was to get rid of the old life. And I think that you killed these girls before their mom came home, and then killed Shanann. And that's what we're kind of left, that's what we have to believe, because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, to her point, if I walked in and my kid was decapitated, I'd call an ambulance, right? So
knowing there's no hope.
it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up. So either you're this monster who says, I just want this young, hot girlfriend, so I'm going to kill everyone and hope it works out, or something. So I think we're very, very close to the truth, but not quite there yet. So if you're not that monster,
I'm not a monster. I didn't kill my babies.
okay. So tell us what actually happened.
I told you what happened.
I know, but you know, we're getting later into the day. We've done this a few times, and we talk. Then we show you a little bit of what we're working with, some evidence and facts that we know, and then we kind of get our way to the truth.
So the truth.
Okay.
Everything I've told you. Truth.
So what's going to happen when their cause of death comes back to you, for the girls?
It's not going to.
Okay. You sure?
I'm 100% positive it's not going to come back to me.
Who's it going to come back to?
That was on top of Cece.
Okay.
What do you want me to say?
I just want the truth.
That is the truth.
And then what about Bella?
Bella was laid out, sprawled on her bed.
Okay.
And I saw Shanann on top of CC, so I ran in there.
And what happens when a coroner looks and says, sees your fingerprints on her neck?
It's not gonna be my fingerprints.
Okay. What is it gonna be?
It's gonna be Shanann's.
Are you sure? Well, we don't know about Bella, right? We don't know about Bella.
Bella, it's just, I didn't see Shanann on top of her.
Okay.
That's the commotion I heard upstairs.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Okay. Why take their bodies out of the house and bury them?
I was scared. I didn't know what else to do.
Okay.
Nothing was gonna, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know what to do.
Scared of what?
Scared of what everything was gonna look like. My 2 babies were gone,
Mm-hmm.
and I just did that to my wife. And I was the only one left in the house. What do you expect is gonna happen?
Yeah. It did look bad, right?
It looked, I mean, this was a nightmare.
Yeah. Okay.
I just think as many problems as you've had with Shanann, at the end of the day, she seemed like she was a pretty good mom, right?
I was a pretty good dad as well. You never really know a person until you don't know a person.
I just would hate for someone who can't defend themselves, like Shanann and Bella and Celeste. Like, I mean, if you're not being truthful about who took their lives, like, that's on them too,
I know.
and you don't want to do that to them.
I'm not doing that to them.
I'm just saying, I mean.
No, I'm not doing that to them.
I do think you were a good dad. I think Shanann was a good mom. I think you guys were doing everything you could possibly do for those girls. I mean, look at them.
Why didn't you put Shanann in the tanks?
I didn't know what else to do.
How far down is she?
I don't know, like 2 feet maybe?
How long did it take you to dig that?
No.
Give me an idea.
20, 30 minutes.
Does anyone ever, like, go up this ladder and, like, look in tanks?
Mm-hmm.
So, how are you gonna avoid that? Or is it you that does that?
Anybody that goes to the location.
How often is that done, that those tanks are checked?
Depends if they're making enough oil or whatnot. I mean, once a week, maybe.
So do you want someone to find them?
I didn't know what else to do, Sammy. That was the location I was going out to that morning.
Anyway.
And I didn't know what else to do.
So you weren't thinking that far ahead?
No.
Okay.
Yesterday when you were talking, and again, this is before we kind of got to this moment today, you mentioned that, we were talking, you said, I don't know where they are, and then you said something along the lines of, whatever happened to them, this act of pure evil. What did that mean?
This is the evil that I saw when I walked behind Shanann and she was on top of CC. And then I felt evil for what I did to Shanann.
Okay. So, one other thing that doesn't make sense to me is, well, I don't know. can you walk me through again, when you walked in, what did she look like? What did Shanann look like? All you saw was her back. Was it the same shirt that you buried her in? Same underwear? And then was she wearing pajamas?
Shanann?
Yeah.
No, that's what she sleeps in.
Oh, she sleeps in her underwear. Okay, and no pajamas, no shorts, nothing like that. So then, when you grab her, just as is, that's how she gets to the truck, that's how she gets to the site. Okay.
So did Shanann ever go to bed?
Like, when I put her back in the bed.
No, like when she got home. Did any of that happen where she got into bed and then you woke her up at 4? Like, is all of that true? Because it looks like there's some purchase of some hair care products at like 2:30 in the morning. Do you know about that?
Hair care products?
And her credit card was denied? No. You said you don't really use the credit card, so the private.
My credit card, no.
Would you have bought hair care products at 2:30 in the morning that morning?
No.
Did she get mad at you because there's no money when she woke up? Like, was that part of the?
This is the first I've heard of that.
Okay.
As far as hair care products and the card being denied.
Okay. And I'm not lying about that, that's why I'm asking, but that is something that came up.
Is there any reason she would have a black eye, Shanann?
No.
Not from a slap or a punch or nothing like that?
Never
Okay.
punched her or slapped her.
Is there any reason she would have a stab mark on her body?
No.
Okay. And no other reason for death? Coroner's not gonna find rat poison in her stomach? The only way that she died, she was living, breathing, and wasn't living, breathing after your hands on her neck. Okay.
What were you talking to Nikki about before your wife got home?
Before she got home?
You talked for like several hours.
I think our day, I mean, we talked a lot, just conversations, and just random conversations. We talk a lot.
Does Nikki know about any of this? Seriously?
Well, she doesn't know, like, I mean, she knows, like, from the news and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Did you share with her anything? Does she know your wife was pregnant?
She does now, and I told her that.
She didn't know at the time? How come you didn't tell her?
So I was scared too. Felt like, you know, like she wouldn't even like gone on a date with me, and she knew that, so it's.
Did she know you were married with kids?
Yes.
Okay, but just not pregnant?
Yes. I told her that, you know, like, we had actively tried before we met.
Oh, trying to get pregnant? Okay.
So she knew that.
You can imagine that when we go talk to people going forward, everyone's gonna try to distance themselves from any of this.
Yes.
And so if, what's gonna happen when Nikki says, no, it was our plan to kill everyone and run off together?
She's not gonna say that.
Okay.
We were gonna talk to her.
Absolutely.
I have to.
So can we get ahead of that for you? Can we get all of that out right now? I mean, so are you sure she's not gonna say, oh, I kinda knew he was gonna kill him?
No.
She's not gonna say that?
No.
Okay. And she's not gonna say, boy, we were making plans about buying a house or an apartment. She gonna say that?
No, like,
You
she was
really
just, like, once I had my own place, like, we could, you know, like, hang out more.
Okay. So after the separation, after that dust settled, then you would have availability to go see Nikki. You guys had talks like that?
Yeah, I mean, like, she generally liked me.
Okay.
Please don't put her name out there in the news, though. She's been through enough in her life now.
Stuff like that, we never try to put out
But on just know, like the threats, if they got them of an affair, they would drag her through the mud. I don't want that.
Yeah, we're certainly not gonna try to make that happen.
It's vulnerable in any of this.
I know there's press finds ways. That's everything.
So what do you think about everything now? Do you feel sorry for what you did?
I wish I wouldn't have lost the control and got on top of Shanann and did that. And then did that.
What? To go out to the well site?
Yes.
So after we look at their bodies, we're gonna have a lot more questions. Things are gonna be different then, but if you're willing, we'd love to talk to you then too. You did really good today, Chris. Really good. I think you had about 24 hours of just a hellish nightmare thrust upon you, and you know, you certainly did what you did, but I think you took a lot of steps to make it better today.
Sorry I left you last night, and sorry I lied to you today. Not okay.
I thought you were here for a reason.
There's a reason why that I came in, because
Yeah.
there's a reason why I didn't come in with a lawyer either, so it's like, and it's gonna happen, so.
I appreciate that. You know, eventually they were gonna find them out there. So, I mean, it was kind of inevitable, and you would have just been sitting at home waiting for that moment to happen. And then what? Then what does it look like?
It looks probably
But there's many people that say that you're an amazing guy and you would never do anything bad and has never lost your temper, and you know, all those people that say that about you, there's just as many that would say that about Shanann. So we're gonna struggle with that
I know.
for a while. I'm struggling with it right now, I'll be honest.
I know you are.
I'm a mom.
And anybody
Yeah.
would.
How do we prove best that Shanann did it?
Examine the body, I guess, that's the only thing.
We're gonna see her hand marks.
The hand marks are not there.
Okay.
But there are gonna be hand marks, like they weren't smothered, do you think?
I don't, they shouldn't have been smothered, no. And Bella, I don't know, but she was on top of her, and her head's inside.
And there was no pillow on top of her.
I didn't see you on the camera off. Didn't see one on top of her, no.
Why were there sheets in the trash in the kitchen?
Because those are the same ones out there. I didn't know what else to do. I knew eventually this was you're gonna find Shanann. I mean, you guys.
So is she still wrapped in the sheet down in here?
It was just laying off to the side, or maybe the wind took it.
So it's right here now? It was just next to the side? Like you didn't even try and hide that?
I was so scared, I didn't know what to do.
Did someone come upon you or something?
No, I mean,
Were you afraid they were gonna start showing up?
I knew they were on their way out there, but I mean, it's a long way out there.
So I know, and before I forget, I know that they collected a lot of electronics out of your house,
Mhm.
like routers and that kind of stuff. Like, that's not gonna show that she was using her phone, like, at a time that you said
Mhm.
she was strangling the kids or
Mhm.
something, right? Okay. What is the password to, like, all the electronics in your house? I know there was an iPad.
iPad should be 2385.
2385. There's not one for the Apple Watches, is there?
Should be 2385.
Is that for yours too?
3387.
I'm sorry, what was yours?
3387.
2387. And what other stuff do you have? Is there a router, like, is there a password for that stuff?
Shiny Chair 6. Came with the router.
And spell it for me.
SHINYCHAIR 6. Number 6.
Like that. Shiny Chair 6?
Yes.
And then what else was in there? Is there a desktop computer?
Yeah, that one, if it has a password, it'd be 428-4915, capital S, lowercase w.
Okay. And what about, is there anything else in the house as far as electronics go, tablets?
Well, the iPad's the only real set. The other ones are the kids' stuff, but there's like, they're just like Amazon Fires or whatnot.
Okay. And you have an iPhone what? Which one? Is that your personal one?
Yes, iPhone like 7 Plus or something.
What's the password to that one?
3387.
And what about your work phone?
Same.
Is that this one here?
Then obviously Shanann had a iPhone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was her password?
So it changed to 013119.
What was that password?
The due date the next day.
Okay.
Nikki told me that one. Nicole told me that one.
Okay.
So there's too many Nickies, Nicoles.
Yeah, we noticed that. It was getting us very confused. So no other electronics. What about the Echo? Does it have a password?
If it does, I don't, never knew if it did or not.
Okay.
You just say Alexa and it starts listening.
Oh, it's an Alexa. Is it the Echo still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The product's called an Echo.
Okay. Any other ones that you can think of? Okay.
Where do you guys bank?
Chase in USA.
Which one was the, when you went out to dinner with Nikki?
Chase.
That was Chase. And USAA, is that mortgage, is that bank, is that both?
Chase is our mortgage lender.
Okay.
Do you have checking through them too, right?
Yes.
What do you guys use USAA for?
We use that to pay mortgage too, but
Okay.
it's just another, she had that before she met me.
Okay. And then the accounts that you had personally, beyond all of this?
Mhm.
Okay.
I was gonna ask you, like, to tell me. Oh, boy. Oh, the security system. There's a Vivint, right?
Vivint, yeah.
Vivint?
It's either gonna be 3387 or 2385. One of the two. And the passcode, like is Mustang for, if you ever have to talk to them. Robo passcode.
And then what email is associated with that?
ShanannWatts@gmail.com.
Do you know her Gmail password?
Could read that 428-1915. It's just any of her, if most of her passwords are that.
Okay.
And what is that? Is a phone number you said?
Yeah,
What phone number is that?
her ex-husband's mom.
Okay, that's weird.
You stick with the password.
She just remembers it? Or she's had it that long?
They were really good friends.
Oh, okay.
So she just kept it.
Do you have any other questions for us?
Here's the bathroom.
Yes.
Of course.
We do need to do one quick thing. Now that we know what we know, we're going to, I need to check that you don't have any weapons on you or anything like that. Do you have any weapons on you?
No.
Okay. We'll do that. We'll go to the bathroom. I'm not gonna go in the stall with you, but I'm gonna go with you. And then we'll come right back here and we'll make a decision about how the rest of the night goes. All right, so would you mind standing up so I can check? All right. All right, let's go to the bathroom.
Okay, so leave this in there?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that way. There you go.
Take a red. I'm gonna take it with me for now, though. And then just for everyone's protection, I'm gonna leave that recording. Watch this. Yes.
What's that?
What I'd like to say to the courts that Shannon, Bella, and Nico are loving, caring people. They love life. They love being around people who love them. They always had good times. This is the first time they went to the beach this year, and they loved it. But God only knows what happened that night. Life will never be the same without Shannon, Bella, and Celeste and Nico. Had all their lives to live. They were taken by a heartless one. This is the heartless one, the evil monster, who dare you take the lives of my daughters Shannon, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. The heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me. They were loving and caring people. You may have taken their bodies from me, but you will never take the love they had for me. They loved us more than you will ever know, because you don't know what love is. Because if you did, you would not have killed them. You monster, thought you would get away with this. I don't know how. The cameras do not lie. You carry them out like trash of the house. Yes, I seen the videotape. You buried my daughter Shannon and Nico in a shallow grave, and then you put Bella and Celeste in huge containers of crude oil. You heartless monster. You have to live with this vision every day of your life, and I hope you see that every time you close your eyes at night. Oh, I forgot. You have no heart or feelings or love. Let me tell you something. I will think of them every day of my life, and I love them every day of my life. Prison is too good for you. This is hard to say, but may God have mercy on your soul. I hope you enjoy your new life. It's nothing like the one you had out here. May the courts have no mercy on you. It's hard every day. It hurts in so many ways. I have heard people say that you're not a monster. No, you are not. You're an evil monster. Thank you. Love you, Shannon, Bella, and Nico. Love you, Pop and Dad. And one other thing. And Shannon says she is super excited for justice today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Not tested against consequence. Simply rehearsed quietly, repeatedly. The imagined future gained detail and urgency, while the present became something to endure rather than inhabit. This imbalance reshaped perception, recasting obligation as confinement and responsibility as theft of possibility. The home absorbed this shift without resistance. Its rooms continued to function as they always had. The kitchen held meals. The bedrooms held sleep. The garage connected inside to outside. Nothing in the structure objected. The familiarity of space reduced friction, allowing internal intent to align seamlessly with external movement. On the night everything changed, nothing about the house announced that it would become a site of irrevocable loss. The air was still. The rooms were quiet. The ordinary hum of appliances filled the spaces between silence. In the children's rooms, small bodies rested in unguarded trust, breathing steady, unaware of the significance that night would carry long after it passed. Time moved forward regardless. The early hours arrived without ceremony. The boundary between night and morning blurred, as it always does. Outside, the street remained empty. Inside, movement occurred quietly, deliberately, shaped by planning that had been refined through repetition of thought rather than rehearsal of action. The absence of sound was not accidental. It was essential. Silence protected routine. Silence allowed the sequence to unfold without interruption. Silence preserved the illusion of normalcy long enough for irreversible steps to be taken. In this story, silence is not neutral. It is active, purposeful, and devastating. When morning fully arrived, it brought with it the expectations of an ordinary day. Work schedules mattered. Messages were expected. Absence became noticeable not because of chaos, but because routine had been interrupted just enough to raise questions. Concern emerged gradually, shaped by deviation rather than alarm. Something was wrong, but it was not yet clear what that something was. Confusion followed, not as panic, but as disorientation. The house appeared intact. Belongings remained where they should have been. Nothing was overturned. Nothing suggested struggle. The normal markers of family life were still present, creating a dissonance between what was seen and what was felt. The absence of visible disruption made comprehension difficult, prolonging uncertainty. That uncertainty filled the space where reassurance should have been. As hours passed, routine failed to correct itself. Silence deepened rather than resolved. The absence of explanation became heavier than the absence of people. In this space, fear did not arrive suddenly. It accumulated, fed by unanswered questions and the growing realization that something fundamental had been broken. Reconstruction began not with answers, but with fragments. Timelines were assembled. Movements were traced. Small inconsistencies gained weight as they were examined against the expectation of normalcy. What had once been invisible became central. The ordinary transformed into evidence, each detail repositioned within a narrative that no one had wanted to imagine. The garage, once a transitional space, became significant. The truck, once a symbol of reliability and routine, became a marker of departure. The route to work, once unremarkable, became a path of concealment. Each element was recontextualized, stripped of neutrality by the knowledge of what had occurred. The landscape beyond the neighborhood offered no resistance either. The work site existed to serve function, not memory. Its vastness and isolation provided distance from domestic space, a separation that mirrored the internal distance already established. The expanse absorbed what was brought to it without comment, its silence matching the silence that had enabled the journey there. As the sequence of events clarified, disbelief gave way to recognition. Recognition not of inevitability, but of convergence. Convergence of avoidance, entitlement, routine, and opportunity. The clarity was devastating precisely because it did not reveal a single catastrophic moment, but a series of choices aligned toward a single end. The recognition carried forward into the days that followed. It reshaped how every preceding moment was remembered. Ordinary interactions were re-examined. Familiar behaviors were reinterpreted. Memory itself became unstable, shifting under the weight of new understanding. What had once felt benign now carried a different charge. This instability did not resolve quickly. It lingered, reshaping perception long after the initial shock faded. The story did not settle into the past. It continued to intrude into the present, influencing how silence was heard, how routine was interpreted, how trust was extended. And within that intrusion, one fact remained immovable. Lives had been erased within the structures designed to protect them. The absence left behind was not abstract. It was specific, personal, and permanent. No amount of reconstruction could restore what had been lost. It could only reveal how quietly the path toward that loss had been walked. The story pauses here not because it has finished speaking, but because its weight requires space. Space to breathe. Space to consider how ordinary moments can conceal extraordinary consequences. Space to recognize that the most devastating ruptures often occur not in chaos, but in calm. And in that calm, the silence continues. The silence that follows does not dissipate with understanding. It deepens, taking on a different quality as the days unfold. It is no longer the silence of not knowing, but the silence of recognition, of realizing that what happened cannot be folded back into the logic of ordinary life. The house remains standing. The street returns to its rhythms, but something essential has shifted, and that shift cannot be undone by explanation. In the hours and days that follow, attention narrows. Every detail is examined with a care that had never been required before. The timing of movements, the order of actions, the distance between locations. What had once been routine becomes charged with meaning. Each step is measured against the knowledge of what it carried forward and what it left behind. The children's rooms become unbearable to imagine as empty. Their small belongings remain where they were last placed, holding the shape of daily life with cruel precision. Toys are arranged mid-story. Clothing waits to be worn again. These objects do not register the finality that has overtaken them. They remain suspended in expectation, creating a contrast between innocence and outcome that defies easy comprehension. The absence of sound becomes its own presence. There are no footsteps, no laughter, no voices calling from room to room. What replaces them is an echo of what used to be there, an awareness that absence can be louder than noise. This is not a dramatic silence. It is heavy, settled, and resistant to interruption. As the story moves outward from the house, it carries this weight with it. Friends and acquaintances struggle to reconcile the images they remember with the reality that has emerged. The mind resists alignment. It searches for alternative explanations, for errors, for some overlooked detail that might reassemble the world into something recognizable again. That search does not succeed. Recognition arrives slowly. It arrives not as acceptance, but as the collapse of denial. It arrives when every plausible alternative has been exhausted, leaving only what remains. This moment does not bring clarity. It brings a different kind of disorientation, one in which certainty exists without comfort. The children's names begin to circulate alongside images of their faces. They are spoken together, yet each carries a distinct presence, one remembered for her cautious curiosity, another for her uninhibited joy. Their individuality resists being absorbed into a single narrative of loss. It insists on being acknowledged separately, even as the tragedy binds them together permanently. The unborn child is included in this remembrance as well. A future that existed only in anticipation now carries the same finality as the lives that had already taken shape. Possibility itself becomes part of what was lost. The story expands beyond what happened to include what will never happen, a dimension of absence that cannot be measured. As days turn into weeks, the initial shock gives way to a sustained heaviness. It is carried by those closest to the loss, but it also settles into the broader community. Conversations change tone. Familiar places feel altered, not because they have changed, but because they are now associated with knowledge that cannot be forgotten. The environment absorbs this association quietly, without visible marker. The narrative continues to assemble itself through fragments. Documents, timelines, and locations form a coherent sequence, but coherence does not produce relief. It produces gravity. Each piece confirms the last, closing off remaining avenues of doubt. The truth moves forward not as revelation, but as accumulation. That accumulation reshapes memory. What once seemed inconsequential now appears charged. Ordinary gestures are reinterpreted. Casual routines take on a different significance. Memory itself becomes unstable, revised by understanding that arrives too late to alter events. Yet even as clarity increases, meaning remains elusive. There is no singular explanation that satisfies the scale of loss. The mind searches for proportionality, for a reason that matches the outcome. none appears. The gap between cause and consequence remains vast, and within that gap, questions continue to echo without resolution. The story does not resolve into moral clarity. It resists judgment framed as distance. It resists being contained within labels that would make it easier to hold at arm's length. It insists on proximity, on the recognition that what unfolded did so within conditions that appeared ordinary until they were not. As time continues to move forward, the weight does not lift. It redistributes. It settles into habits of thought, into the way silence is interpreted, into the way routine is regarded with a measure of caution it did not previously require. The story becomes less about recounting events and more about carrying their implications. And so it continues, not toward closure, but deeper into reflection. Not toward resolution, but into the quiet understanding that some truths do not arrive to comfort, but to remain, shaping perception long after the moment of revelation has passed, lingering in the spaces where ordinary life resumes, altered by what it now knows. That altered knowing reshapes the passage of time itself. Time no longer feels linear. It folds inward, looping back on moments that once seemed ordinary and now carry unbearable significance. A late night arrival, a quiet morning, a routine departure. Each becomes fixed, revisited repeatedly, as if attention alone could alter their outcome. It cannot. The revisiting serves a different function. It marks the mind's attempt to integrate a reality that resists integration. In this phase, the world feels simultaneously intact and irrevocably damaged. Cars continue to pass the house. Deliveries arrive at neighboring doors. Children elsewhere wake for school, complain about homework, negotiate bedtime. Life persists with a steadiness that feels almost offensive in its indifference. The contrast sharpens awareness of loss, highlighting how the absence of one family does not interrupt the broader flow of daily life. This persistence of the ordinary deepens grief rather than easing it. It underscores the singularity of what has been taken. The family's routines will not resume, even as similar routines continue all around them. The disparity between these realities creates a quiet dissonance that lingers long after public attention shifts elsewhere. As the narrative extends outward, it encounters the mechanisms designed to contain catastrophe. Processes are enacted, procedures followed, forms completed. These mechanisms provide structure in the face of chaos, but they cannot supply meaning. They operate efficiently, almost mechanically, addressing what can be measured while leaving the immeasurable untouched. The courtroom, when it comes into view, carries its own atmosphere. It is a space defined by restraint. Movements are deliberate. Postures are controlled. The air feels compressed by expectation and gravity. People occupy their seats not as participants in a shared story, but as observers of a process that will determine outcome without restoring balance. Within this space, truth advances slowly, not as revelation, but as confirmation. Each step narrows uncertainty, replacing questions with conclusions. Yet with each conclusion, the absence grows more pronounced. Resolution, in the legal sense, does not correspond to relief. It marks an end point in process, not in consequence. The faces of those who attend reflect this disjunction. There is no visible satisfaction in certainty. There is only endurance, the effort to remain present in a space where nothing can be said that will restore what has been lost. The silence here is different from the silence that preceded the crime. It is not protective or concealing. It is heavy with acknowledgement. Outside the courtroom, the world resumes its pace. The contrast is jarring. Traffic moves. Phones vibrate with unrelated messages. The weight carried inside does not translate easily to the outside environment. Those who leave the space do so with a sense of dislocation, as if the gravity within cannot be reconciled with the lightness beyond its walls. This dislocation follows them home. It settles into their own kitchens and bedrooms, altering how those spaces are perceived. Familiar rooms feel subtly changed, as if awareness has recalibrated what they represent. Safety is no longer assumed. It is considered, assessed, and held with a degree of humility it did not previously require. The story's influence extends quietly into these private reassessments. It shapes how people interpret commitment, how they understand the cost of concealment, how they weigh the consequences of postponing truth. These interpretations do not announce themselves as lessons learned. They appear as shifts in attention, as questions asked sooner, as silences broken earlier than they might have been before. Yet even these shifts do not offer reassurance. They offer only the possibility of engagement, not the promise of prevention. The story refuses to become a guide. It remains a presence that complicates certainty rather than replacing it with new assurances. As the years move forward, the names at the center of the story remain fixed in memory. They are spoken less often in public, but they do not fade. They exist in photographs, in recollections, in the ongoing effort to remember lives as they were lived rather than solely as they were lost. This effort resists reduction, insisting on complexity where narrative prefers simplicity. The children's images retain their immediacy. They do not age. They remain suspended in time, a reminder that development was interrupted, that futures were denied. This suspension creates a particular ache, one that does not soften with familiarity. It remains acute precisely because it represents possibility rather than memory alone. The unborn child's presence is felt differently. It exists entirely in absence, defined by anticipation rather than experience. Its inclusion in remembrance expands the scope of loss beyond what can be pictured, encompassing what was imagined but never realized. This dimension of loss is harder to articulate, but it is no less real. As the story continues to be encountered, these layers accumulate. It becomes less about recounting what happened and more about acknowledging what remains unresolved. The unresolved is not a failure of investigation or process. It is an inherent feature of loss that exceeds explanation, and so the narrative does not move toward an ending. It moves into a sustained quiet, where understanding and grief coexist without resolution. It remains present in the background of ordinary days, attentive to moments when silence stretches, when routine conceals strain, when waiting feels safer than speaking. In those moments, the story continues to exert its influence, not by demanding attention, but by remaining available, a reminder of how easily ordinary life can be altered, and how deeply the consequences of unseen choices can reach into the lives of those who never had the chance to choose at all. That reach into unchosen lives reframes how absence is understood. Absence is often imagined as emptiness, as a void left behind. In this story, absence is active. It moves through rooms, through conversations, through the future tense. It shapes what can be planned and what must be avoided. It is present in decisions that now carry a second layer of consideration, a pause that did not exist before. The pause becomes habitual. Before committing to ordinary actions, there is a moment of hesitation, an internal check that weighs consequence more carefully than it once did. This hesitation is not fear in the dramatic sense. It is a recalibration, a recognition that certainty is fragile and that assumptions require maintenance. Maintenance, the story suggests, is where prevention truly resides. Not in vigilance that exhausts itself, but in ongoing attention to alignment between inner narrative and shared reality. Alignment is not static. It requires adjustment as circumstances change, as desire shifts, as pressure accumulates. Without adjustment, divergence grows quietly. Divergence rarely announces itself as rebellion. It presents as coping, as endurance, as the effort to keep moving forward despite dissatisfaction. In the Watts case, coping became cover for avoidance. Endurance became a justification for silence. The distinction between managing difficulty and denying it blurred until denial hardened into strategy. Strategy demands coherence. Once avoidance becomes strategic, it organizes thought and action toward preservation of the internal narrative. Contradictory information is minimized. Opportunities for disclosure are reinterpreted as threats. The internal world becomes increasingly self-referential, measuring success by consistency rather than truth. This self-referential loop isolates. Isolation does not always mean physical separation. It can exist within shared spaces, within family structures, within daily interaction. The isolation here was internal, sustained by the belief that others could not be trusted with the full truth of dissatisfaction. This belief protected fantasy at the expense of connection. Connection, when reduced, weakens constraint. Ethical restraint is often reinforced by relationship, by seeing oneself reflected in the needs and perspectives of others. As connection erodes, restraint becomes abstract. It loses its emotional anchor. In that abstraction, actions can be contemplated without fully encountering their impact. The story demonstrates how quickly this abstraction can become operational. Once the internal narrative achieved coherence, execution followed routine pathways. There was no need for improvisation. Familiarity provided structure. Predictability provided cover. The very features that once supported family life now supported its erasure. Afterward, the effort to comprehend this transformation meets a persistent barrier. People want to identify a moment when everything changed, a point of no return that could have been recognized in real time. The narrative refuses to supply one. Instead, it offers accumulation, small shifts layered over time until reversal required more courage than continuation. This refusal is unsettling because it implicates ordinary life. It suggests that the most dangerous developments may not be marked by obvious signals. They may be embedded within habits that appear functional. The story does not claim that such developments are common, but it insists that they are possible wherever silence is rewarded and conflict is avoided at all costs. As this insistence settles, it alters how people listen. They listen for what is not being said. They notice when explanations are repeated without resolution. They attend to the emotional texture beneath routine language. This listening does not guarantee insight, but it creates space where alignment can be restored before divergence becomes decisive. Space, in this sense, is ethical. It is the space to disagree, to disappoint, to acknowledge failure without catastrophe. The Watts story illustrates what happens when such space collapses, when the imagined cost of honesty eclipses the real cost of avoidance. The real cost, once revealed, cannot be negotiated. It is carried forward by those who remain, by those who must integrate absence into identity. This integration does not follow a timetable. It proceeds unevenly, marked by moments of stability interrupted by waves of grief that arrive without warning. These waves are often triggered by the ordinary, a child's laughter elsewhere, a family photograph, a familiar route driven at the wrong time of day. The ordinariness of these triggers underscores the permanence of loss, reminding those affected that life continues in parallel to what has been taken. Public memory intersects with this private process imperfectly. It remembers dates and names, but it cannot carry the daily texture of absence. It recalls the outline of events, but not the ongoing recalibration required to live with them. This gap between public narrative and private reality remains, shaping how the story is retold and received. As years extend, the story becomes less about the individual who committed the acts and more about the structures that enabled them. Not structures of law or policy, but structures of expectation, routine, and silence. These structures are not inherently harmful. They become dangerous only when they discourage engagement with discomfort. The narrative's endurance lies in this distinction. It does not indict ordinary life. It examines it. It asks how stability is maintained and at what cost. It invites reflection on the difference between peace and quiet, between patience and postponement. These reflections do not culminate in certainty. They remain open, evolving with the lives of those who carry them. The story does not seek to be resolved. It seeks to be held, considered, and allowed to inform awareness without dominating it. And so it continues, not advancing. The weight of what happened does not diminish with distance. It redistributes. As years pass, the story settles into a quieter register, one that no longer shocks but persists. It occupies the background of thought, shaping how people understand risk, intimacy, and the fragile agreements that hold families together. The events themselves remain fixed, but their implications continue to move, intersecting with new lives, new moments of strain, new decisions made in private. What endures most powerfully is the recognition that catastrophe did not arrive from nowhere. It emerged from within a structure that appeared functional. Work was done. Bills were paid. Routines were followed. These markers of stability, so often relied upon as proof of safety, proved insufficient. The story forces a reconsideration of what stability actually means when it is divorced from honesty and engagement. Honesty, in this context, is not virtue signaling or confession. It is alignment. Alignment between what is felt and what is expressed. Alignment between private narrative and shared reality. When alignment erodes, the distance between internal desire and external obligation grows. That distance can be endured for a time, but it cannot expand indefinitely without consequence. The expansion is gradual, almost imperceptible. It is sustained by small accommodations made to avoid discomfort. Each accommodation seems harmless. Each one promises relief without cost. Over time, the promise proves false, but by then, the habit of avoidance has reshaped perception. What once would have felt unthinkable begins to feel necessary. This is not a story about sudden madness. It is a story about sustained misalignment, about how the refusal to confront incompatibility can transform desire into grievance and grievance into entitlement. About how entitlement, when shielded by routine and silence, can sever empathy so thoroughly that others are no longer experienced as fully human within the internal narrative. The ordinariness of the setting intensifies this realization. Nothing about the neighborhood suggested danger. Nothing about the daily rhythms invited suspicion. The story insists that harm does not require extraordinary conditions. It requires only the convergence of avoidance, opportunity, and an internal narrative left unchallenged long enough to harden. After the harm, the world continues. This continuation is one of the most difficult aspects to absorb. Streets remain quiet. New routines form. Children elsewhere grow older. The persistence of ordinary life does not diminish the loss, it sharpens it, highlighting the specificity of what was taken and the permanence of its absence. For those closest to the loss, memory becomes an active responsibility. Remembering is not passive recall. It is an ongoing effort to preserve individuality against reduction, to insist that lives were not symbols or lessons, but complex, living presences with their own rhythms and meanings. This effort resists the flattening effect of narrative repetition. Public memory, by contrast, is selective. It retains outlines and dates, but it cannot carry texture. It remembers the shape of the event, not the daily labor of grief that follows. This gap between public recollection and private reality remains, shaping how the story is encountered and retold. As the narrative becomes more distant in time, its function shifts. It is no longer primarily a recounting of facts. It becomes a reference point for reflection. People return to it not to learn what happened, but to consider how ordinary pressures can distort perception when left unattended. The story's value lies in this reflective capacity rather than in its informational content. It does not instruct. It complicates. It complicates the idea that patience is always virtuous. It complicates the belief that silence preserves peace. It complicates the assumption that routine guarantees safety. These complications do not offer easy alternatives. They invite ongoing attention. Attention, as the story reveals, is not constant vigilance. It is the willingness to notice when something feels off and to take that feeling seriously before it can be rationalized away. It is the courage to risk disruption in order to restore alignment. It is the acceptance that discomfort, when engaged early, may prevent devastation later. The narrative does not claim that such engagement would have changed the outcome. It resists the comfort of hypothetical prevention. Instead, it remains grounded in what is known, that avoidance has consequences, that silence accumulates, and that the cost of postponing truth is rarely borne by the one who postpones it alone. In the end, what remains is not closure, but presence. A presence that accompanies ordinary life quietly, without demanding attention, yet never fully receding. It is felt in moments of hesitation, in the reconsideration of silence, in the recognition that endurance without alignment can become erosion. The story stays there, not as a warning shouted from a distance, but as a low, steady weight. It asks nothing. It promises nothing. It simply remains, reminding those who encounter it that the most consequential decisions are often made long before they are recognized as such, and that the difference between sustaining life and dismantling it is determined not in chaos, but in the quiet choices made day after day, unseen, unspoken, and unresolved.